Hey, I'm Shay and welcome back to my channel, Books with Shay. So today I'm so excited to be back with another video for you guys. I have missed you guys so much. It's crazy. I feel like filming a video almost every single day in December and then stopping was just like really weird. You guys became a part of my routine for an entire month, and so to stop filming was just crazy. But then I stopped and I felt a little burnt out and I almost struggled to pick up the camera again. So I thought I would have this video out like a week ago. And here we are today, but I'm just gonna hop back on the wagon and we are going to keep trekking through. So for today's video, as I'm sure you have already seen by the title, I'm going to be doing my Christmas book haul along with my what I got for Christmas video. And so the way I'm going to do this is all of my books and bookish gifts I'm going to do in the first half of this video. That way, if you're someone who is only here for the books and the bookish content, you can see what books I got for Christmas, and then you can click out when I get to the regular things that I got for Christmas. But if you're somebody who wants to see both things, you can watch all the way through. I did a poll on Twitter and you guys said that you wanted to see everything I got for Christmas versus just the bookish things, which is why I'm doing both things. I will say, if you are somebody who watched all of Vlogmas, you are going to have seen a lot of these books because the majority of the books that I got for Christmas were during my 25 reads of Christmas that I got, like the Advent, I guess, that LT and I did, where he gave me a book every night before bed and I opened it on camera for Vlogmas. So a lot of these books are from that. A lot of the other books in this are from when I did my Shelfie Side Hustle video, where I drove Uber Eats for 2 days basically in order to be able to purchase my December TBR using only a side hustle. And so those books are in here. And there are a couple of ones that I got for Christmas that I didn't mention. And so it's kind of a hodgepodge of things that if you've been watching my channel for the entire month of December, there may be some of these or a lot of these that you've already seen. And so I'll try to put timestamps, if I remember, in the description below or somewhere on the screen so that you can jump ahead to the portions of things that you haven't seen or the things that you want to see if you're here for one particular purpose. But let's get right into this because it's going to be a super long video. A couple of more disclaimers, I guess, as I say, let's get right into this. The first one is I want to apologize up front for my hair. I recently got out of the shower and it is drying, so it's probably going to slowly grow as we do this video. And so if it starts looking crazy, I'm sorry, but I knew if I didn't sit down and film this right now, it was not going to get filmed. And then the second thing is I did not look up synopses for all of these books. The thing is, I don't always like reading the synopsis on a book before I jump into it. Sometimes I really like to be surprised on the content that's in the book, and sometimes I feel like the synopsis gives too much away. Let me know in the description below if you're like that as well, or if you like to know the synopsis, because if you really like to know them, I'll read them the next time and tell you guys exactly what each book is about. But I thought it might be fun, instead of reading you guys each synopsis, to tell you guys what interested me in this book that I received, or if I know absolutely nothing about it, I'll tell you I know nothing about it. But a lot of these I have interest in for some reason, but I don't necessarily know exactly what they're about. So I'm going to tell you what made me interested, and maybe that will interest you in reading some of these books. Now, hopping right into it. We're going to start with, I'm not doing these in any particular order, so it won't be like in the order that I received them in the 25 reads of Christmas or anything like that. I'm just going to grab what I can grab because we have more than 30 books in this haul, so I'm going to try to like be pretty snappy with it. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Nimona. I'll insert a picture of that one here. I started reading it as soon as I got it and I don't know where I put it. So it's somewhere between my office, bedroom, something. I looked really quickly before I filmed. I didn't see it. I wanted to get this video out for you guys, so I stopped looking. But Nimona is a graphic novel. All I know is that it's about a villain and a girl who decides that she wants to kind of assist this villain. And so she goes in and kind of takes the sidekick, is that what it's called when it's a villain? I don't know. Kind of takes the sidekick position without truly asking him, and I'm guessing chaos and antics ensue from there. And so what interested me in this is that I heard somebody suggest it for people who are just starting out with graphic novels. I want to read more graphic novels this year. I read my first few last year, and so I picked this up, or got this as a gift, asked for this as a kind of starter graphic novel as I'm just hopping into graphic novels. How many times can I say graphic novels? The next one is The Hating Game, and so I'm going to put a picture of that one up as well. I also started reading this one as soon as I got it, and it has disappeared to some corner of the house. It's in here. I haven't loaned it to anyone. I know a lot of you guys were like, stop loaning books to people, you're giving me anxiety, and so I'm sorry, but I do loan out books a lot and I don't always get them back. So this one I did not loan out to anyone. This is my second copy, as you guys will know if you watched Vlogmas. I loaned the first one out to someone and it has not returned. This one is just flying around the house somewhere. But basically this is my favorite romance of all time, I'm pretty sure. It is a hate to love romance about two book companies, publishing companies, that end up doing a merger when they fall upon hard times. One of them are like creative people that think books are life, and one company is filled with numbers people that are just viewing books as units. And so there are two companies that could not be more oddly matched that merge into one, and the assistant of the owner of one company and the assistant of the owner of the other company end up working in close proximity with one another. They are very different, as their companies are, and kind of working in that close proximity, they start to develop a relationship, and it is kind of an ugly one at first, and then this is kind of what happens as they follow the course of a few of their working weeks in the story. So it's so good. I super love it. If you haven't picked it up already, which I know a ton of you have, totally pick it up. It's phenomenal and super worth it. So moving on to the books that I have physically sitting here, as you will notice behind me, there are a lot of gaps in my shelves because I had already reorganized my shelves to accommodate a lot of these books, and then I pulled them all down for this video. So let's hop into the physical ones I have in this stack. So the first one I see here is Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. I was super excited to receive this book as a gift because my favorite read of 2019 was Name of the Wind, which is the first book in the Kingkiller Chronicles, and this is the second book. And as you can see, I have started this one already. I am a little over 100 pages into it, but this is a beast of a book. This is definitely on my January TBR, and so I am reading this with a friend actually for a brunch book club that we do, and so it's kind of like a buddy read thing because it's really just the two of us, but we call it a book club. And so we're in the middle of this, and or not the middle, we're at the beginning of this, and it's already blowing my mind. It is so good. So if you don't know what Name of the Wind is about, this one is a sequel, so I can't tell you a whole lot about it without spoiling anything, but in the first book, we're following Kvothe, who is a son of a kind of traveling company of musicians that go around and provide entertainment for several villages where he is from. And then one day there is this mythical creature that comes in and kills off his family, and a lot of people do not think this creature is real. So this is kind of his search for whether or not the creature is real and to gain as much information and knowledge as possible, because he really wants to find out more, I guess, about what happens to his family. That's like a really loose, there's so many storylines and offshoots and things that are so cool about this story that it's hard to give you like a real synopsis, but that's kind of the gist of it. And yeah, it's phenomenal. Favorite book of last year. I would not be surprised if this was my favorite book of this year. So good. And side note, it's LT's favorite series of all time. So if you like his taste, I know a lot of you guys will comment saying my taste isn't similar to yours, but it's super similar to LT's. So if you're one of those people, this would be a book for you. So the next book that I have here is the special anniversary edition of Dune, and this is probably, you guys asked me about my favorite books that I received, if I would talk about at the end of Vlogmas some of the favorite books that I got, and this is probably one of the most beautiful. I don't know if it's the, I don't know. I would say this is probably the most beautiful book I received. It is stunning with the blue, like turquoise blue sprayed edges, and then this cover, and then inside, I know I showed you guys during Vlogmas, there were the end pages and the dust jacket, there's art, there's just, it's just so beautiful. And so Dune, I'm not exactly sure what this is about. I know that there is a kind of, I don't know, drug or something like that called spice that people are looking for. I know that the guy on the front is kind of some kind of defender. I'm not sure. I know very little about this, but what I do know is that a book club I'm in is also reading this year because there was a movie that came out years and years ago based on this book, but there's a brand new movie coming out at the end of this year, I think in October or November, and so I will be reading this later on this year. This is adult sci-fi, if you were wondering. The next book that I received is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This again is the 20th anniversary edition. I believe it has the gold Gilded Edges, and this is another stunning copy that I received. I have literally no idea what this is about, but I know Cassandra Clare has a ton of hype on BookTube. That's what interested me in reading this, is seeing a bunch of booktubers that I really love that really love this series. LT has read the first couple books in the series, but then he watched the movie and said that it ruined it for him, so he stopped reading it. But I will also be reading this year along with a lot of Cassandra Clare's other works, and I'm posting maybe the next video or the video after that is going to be my 2020 reading goals, and you guys will see that reading Cassandra Clare. Depending upon how I like the first one, if I really hate it or something, I won't force myself to read like everything that she's put out, her entire catalog. But if I love it, I'm going to try to get as many of her books in this year as I can. So you guys will see that, more about that in the next video. Next, I received We Hunt the Flame. So the reason that I picked this up is because I saw hype about it on BookTube, and then LT read it and he didn't love it, but Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte, who's one of my best friends, read it and I think gave it 4 or 5 stars, something like that. And we usually have pretty similar taste, and so I am going to give this one a shot this year, and I literally cannot wait. The cover is really intriguing to me, and it is blurbed by people who have written things that I really like, and so that's pretty much all I know going into that one. I believe that one's YA fantasy. The next one is Kingdom of Souls by Raina Barron. I picked this up because I have been searching for and wanting to read more fantasy by Black authors, and this is a fantasy novel by a Black author, and so I picked it up for that reason and that reason alone. I do not know very much about it. There's someone on BookTube who suggested this. I cannot think right now, but I'll link their video down below. They did a really cool thing where they were suggesting books by Black authors for people who might not know where to start. It's super, super cool. You should go support, do that thing, find a Black author that you can read that's in a genre or writing something that you would want to read this year. And yeah, let's support authors of color. So that's why I got this, and then I did her little quiz and it suggested this one for me as well, so I'm super excited to read it. The next one that I received is House of Salt and Sorrows. This is by Erin A. Craig, and this is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses. I have heard nothing but good things about this, and the number one thing that intrigued me, like as far as reading it goes, is that I love an atmospheric read. I love when I read something and it sucks me into the atmosphere of the story, and everybody who I've seen talk about this, regardless of if they liked it or not, said this is a super atmospheric read. That is what interested me and why I cannot wait to read it, and also this cover is stunning. The next book I received is Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. This is the sequel to Carry On, also by Rainbow Rowell, obviously. The reason why I wanted to read this is because I really, really, really enjoyed Carry On. It was one of my favorite books when I read it. I don't think it was last year. Maybe it was the year before. Maybe it was the very beginning of last year. I'm not sure, but I super, super loved Carry On. I'm a little nervous about this because Books with Chloe also really loved Carry On, and then she did not love Wayward Son near as much, and so I'm nervous that I might feel the same way because I heard this is completely different from Carry On, so we will see, but that's what interested me in reading that. For those of you who haven't heard of Carry On or don't know what it's about, I don't know what rock you have been under, but basically it is a kind of almost parody of Harry Potter. It has 3 friends that are going to school at this wizard school, and so it's kind of a parody on the chosen one trope. Like, it's like the worst chosen one that's ever been chosen, and it was fantastic. I really, really loved it. So if you haven't read Carry On, you totally should. The next 2 that I got are An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. I am really excited to read these. These are in the same series. I'm not sure what the series is. Maybe it's just called An Ember in the Ashes, but this is blurbed by mega authors like Brandon Sanderson blurbed this, Marie Lu. There are a ton of people that blurb this that I really like their work, and this has a ton of hype on BookTube. That is what interested me in the series. I know, again, very little, if anything, about it, and so I'm going to go in kind of blind, hoping that these blow my mind. Alright, so the next book that I received is The Guinevere Deception, and I'm so excited to have this. I really want to do a reading vlog over a weekend where I read this. I will definitely be reading this month. It's on my January TBR because I'm reading it with Buddy Reads a Latte, which is Olivia's book club, and their 2 picks for this month are The Guinevere Deception and Winterwood, both of which I will be joining them in reading. And I know that this is a King Arthur retelling, and it's kind of a gender bent retelling. I also know that Boston from Boston Books, who I'll link down below as well, this was one of her favorite books of last year, and I saw her talking about this incessantly on Twitter, which really interested me in reading it, and so I'm excited to get into that. I'm sorry for any noise in the background. The dogs are running around and everything. LT is standing guard at the door to the library trying to keep everybody, you know, satisfied, so I'm gonna try to keep going. All right, so the next book that I received is Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shannon McGuire. This book is a part of the Wayward Children series. I continually forget which number this is, but Come Tumbling Down is the most recent book that has released, and I'm planning on doing a reading vlog soon where I am reading this one along with rereading the first and second one that I've already read. So I don't know very much about this one either, but I do know that the series is about kids who basically fall down rabbit holes or go through wardrobes and end up in a completely different land. They come back from these lands and their parents think that they have lost their minds because they're talking about these different worlds that they have seen and visited and everything. And so they take them to this school for kids that have been to these worlds. Their parents think they're going there to kind of get the help for their mental health that they need. But once they get in and the parents leave, the owner of the school is like, listen, I went down a rabbit hole too. Tell me about yours. And they kind of get the support that they need transitioning back into the real world or this dimension. And so the first one was fantastic. I really enjoyed the second one as well. And so I'm looking forward to reading them. I will say that I wish that instead of spreading them out over time, I had read them back to back, because I feel like there are some intricate details woven in that when read together, it has a more impactful impact. It has a bigger impact. So the next book I received is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This is the first book in the Renegades trilogy that is about a boy and a girl whose parents / guardians respectively are the heads of the superheroes and the supervillains of this world that they live in, and it's their paths crossing and what ensues from there. But it's a lot deeper than that, but I'm trying to go quickly because I know this video is going to be so long. So I have read Renegades, and I've also read the second book in the series, Arch Enemies, but I have not read the conclusion to the series, Supernova. I owned this already when I received it, but I owned it in paperback and the other two in hardcover, and I just hate it so much when the books on my shelves do not match, like the series don't match each other. If I have one paperback, I would rather have all paperbacks. If I have one hardcover, I would rather have all hardcovers, and in general, I prefer hardcovers to paperbacks. And so LT got me the hardcover of Renegades to complete my collection of the hardcover trilogy. The next two books I received are Scythe and Thunderhead, both by Neal Shusterman. I already had The Toll. You guys will have heard in Vlogmas about how I ordered it from Owl Crate thinking it would be some super cool special edition, and it was not even that different. And so, you know, so I have that on my shelves already. I got these two to add. Basically, the series, Arc of a Scythe series, is about a world in which most things that we die from have been eradicated, and so scythes are people that go out and kill people in order to control have some population control. And this is two people competing to be a scythe, and neither one of them want to, from my understanding. I was interested in reading these because of BookTube, and one of my favorite people on BookTube, Tori from Medusa Reads, just read Scythe and gave it 5 stars, and that made me even more excited to hop into it. I know I am super late to the party with these, but I'm excited to hop on them this year. The next book I received is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This is a hate to love, I don't know if I think it's young adult fantasy about a witch and a witch hunter that end up getting married. The witch knows that her now husband is a witch hunter, but the witch hunter husband does not know that his now wife is a witch. And this is their kind of story from my understanding. Again, the reason that I picked this up is because of the hype on BookTube. You'll see a lot of that as a theme here, but this is the community I'm a part of. I value the opinions of my friends and the people who I watch on here here who posts, so a lot of these are suggestions or things that I heard from them that I wanted to pick up and read. The next book that I received is Red Queen, and this is a special edition. This book is by Victoria Aveyard, and I had heard of Red Queen, but not a lot about it, like not enough to know what it's about. This one has beautiful red sprayed edges, and this is one that LT got me for the 25 Reads of Christmas that I wasn't on my list and I wasn't expecting to receive, so I'm excited to read it, but I don't know exactly what this is about. I think that there are types of people with different blood, and if you have a certain type of blood, like maybe silver blood or something like that, then you're royalty or something, and if you don't, then you're not supposed to have any magic. And then I think this is about a girl that has red blood but does have magic, and she's not supposed to because her blood's not silver. Y'all should really, I'll try to link every single book that I speak about. Normally I do. It's gonna be super tedious for this video, but I will link every book that I speak about today in the description down below so that you can have better a better synopsis than what I just gave for this. But I am looking forward to reading this, even though it was not previously on my TBR and I have not heard very much about it. I think I just missed the boat on that one. I think it was big maybe a couple of years ago, and because I'm fairly new to BookTube, I just kind of missed the boat on it. The next book that I received is Death Note. I received this black edition of Death Note because I told LT that I was wanting to read manga for the first time this year. I have not read it at all. I haven't read any so far, and so I'm excited to hop into this one as my very first one. I have read the very beginning of this. It is bookmarked with a little piece of a tea packet, but in the beginning of reading this, what I have learned so far is that there is a kind of notebook that is the Death Note, and the person who is in possession of the Death Note can write a person's name and how they die, and that person will die. There is a boy who finds the Death Note and decides to use it to kill people that have committed crimes, and that is as far as I've gotten and all I know about this so far. Next, we have this edition of A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is a beautiful special edition where you have Feyre on the front shooting an arrow, and then you have the Fae that she kills on the back there, and it's just stunning. I have read A Court of Thorns and Roses along with that entire series. I am Sarah J Maas trash. I really like Sarah J Maas. I know you either love her or you hate her. There are a lot of people on BookTube that can't stand her, but I love Sarah J Maas to pieces. One of my favorite books of last year was Kingdom of Ash. I just really love Sarah J Maas. This is about a girl named Feyre who is living with her family in a little kind of shack off the side of the woods, and she is going out and hunting and providing for her two sisters and her father. And one day she's out hunting and she sees a wolf that looks bigger than normal, and she kills the wolf. And then a little while later, a huge Fae male comes to her door and says, "You killed somebody from my court, and now you owe your service to me because you killed someone from my court," and whisks her away to Fairyland, and it's kind of the story that ensues from there. I loved this series, even though there's a lot of people saying that it is trash right now. I thought it was really good, and I will say that I read this series before reading Throne of Glass, and I did end up liking Throne of Glass more, maybe because of the arc of the series, that it was longer and I had more time with the characters, and I am a character-driven person, and so I really ended up liking that more. But for my first ever Sarah J Maas read, this was a great book. If you haven't picked it up or tried it, you totally should. The next book I received is Starcrossed. This is a contemporary romance, I think, about a girl who really believes in astrology and star signs and what it means for your life, and a guy who thinks all of that is bull, but just so happens to write a column for a magazine or online paper or something. And so he begins writing things into her specific star sign to lead her to him because he's interested in her and wants to date her. To my understanding, that sounded like an interesting premise to me, so I put this on my wish list and got it for Christmas. Next is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. Vampires, New Orleans, Olivia loved it. That's pretty much all I know, and so I'm excited to read this because she did, and there is a vlog coming up soon-ish, within the next couple of months, that I'm doing something special to read this. I think I've talked about it already, but just in case I haven't, you guys will see a vlog with this pretty soon. Next, I got King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This takes place place in the Grishaverse, which is the same world as the Shadow and Bone series, as well as Six of Crows. I have read nothing by Leigh Bardugo in this realm. The only thing I've ever read by her is Ninth House. I gave it 5 stars, super loved it, but heard that it was nothing like anything else she'd written. I don't know what this is about because I haven't read any of the other books. So LT saw this and thought, like, saw this cover in the section that I normally shop in and thought of me, so he got it not knowing what it was about and not knowing that there were other books that you kind of had to read in the world in order to be able to know what's going on in this one. So he got it for me. I will add it to my shelves. When I get to it, I will read it. I'm looking forward to it. How many times can I say I'm looking forward to a book? Next, I received Slay by Brittany Morris. This is another book by a Black author, which was a big reason why I put it on my TBR. Apparently, this is about a girl who creates a video game, and the video game is like her safe place that she goes to kind of escape, and then a crime is committed or something happens because of the video game, and this is her defending it, I believe. Not 100% sure, but excited to read this. Next, I received Christmas Shopaholic, which would have been a good thing to read during Christmas time, but I didn't because I asked a couple of people and they said that it will make a lot less sense if I have not read the other Shopaholic books. So I'm thinking during this year, I will try to squeeze them in somewhere. My TBR is something like 150 or 200 books long for this year, and I read between 50 and 70 books a year, so it's way too long to be squeezing all these other little pieces of series in. But I'm hoping to squeeze in the Shopaholic books so I can get to this next Christmas, maybe the Christmas after, but I am adding this to my shelves happily, and LT did that one with no guidance from me, and I thought it was a good pick based on what he knows that I like. Next, I received Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff. I have read Nevernight. This is the conclusion to the Nevernight trilogy. I loved Nevernight. I'm actually currently reading God's Grave. I currently have a lot of things going on. I'm currently reading God's Grave, and then after that is Dark Dawn. This is about how I don't know what pieces to put in there. You know, like when you have read a series far enough in that you don't know what pieces of the story are spoilers and which ones aren't? That's kind of where I am with this series. So in order to save you, I'm going to say if you like adult fantasy, read the Nevernight trilogy. Just period. If you like it. It's so good, but I don't want to give you any accidental spoilers, so I won't tell you exactly what it's about. Again, it'll be linked in the description down below. Nevernight and Dark Dawn both will be, but obviously don't read the synopsis for this if you have not read Nevernight. Next, I received what LT thought was a book and ended up not being one. This Christmas at Hogwarts pop-up calendar where you open it and it is a Christmas tree and you open the advent and put ornaments on it all the way up until Christmas, and this was lots of fun and we enjoyed it even though it ended up not being a book. I mean, I guess it opens like a book, but it's not like technically a story, I guess. So those are all of the books that I received from LT for the 25 days of Christmas, and then the couple of books that I received from him that were not on the 25 days of Christmas, or 25 reads of Christmas. And so moving on, we're gonna do what I purchased myself for my December TBR, and I will tell you what I read versus what I didn't read and what I rated the things that I read if I can remember. I purchased Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. I did not get to reading this, and so I cannot tell you what it's about or if I liked it. I really wanted to read this and watch the Netflix movie, but my December TBR got away from me and I ended up not getting to it. The next book I purchased is We Met in December by Rosie Curtis. I was like, what is this about? Because I also purchased and read One Day in December, and these have very similar titles. The covers are not too different. The premise is similar enough that these kind of melded together in my head, so I'll remember details about this main character but I'll remember them in this book and vice versa. Anyway, both of them got 2 stars from me. I did not like either one of these. This one is about a girl who sees a guy. She's sitting on the bus. He's at the bus stop. They lock eyes. They have this intense electric feeling that they have never had before, and they immediately, instantly, love at first sight, fall in love. And she spends the next few years looking for him, and when she finally finds him, it's not in the way that she wants it to be, and it's kind of their story. From there, I did not love this. If you want to know my exact thoughts on this, I will link Kish's review down below because she said everything I was thinking, and this just was not my favorite. And then this one is about a girl who moves into a flat share type thing with one of her friends who inherits this huge house after I think maybe a grandparent dies, and she falls for one of her flatmates, but he is sleeping with another flatmate, and it's kind of like their story evolving from there. Again, I didn't like either one of those, but I did read them both in December. They were both 2-star reads. The next book that I purchased was Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory. I have read everything that Jasmine Guillory has put out. There have been some things that I liked more than others, although I don't think anything has gotten above a 3, maybe a 3.5 star for me. However, this was a 2-star read. I was so disappointed by this. I was so disappointed that I almost wanted to DNF it, but I am really bad at DNFing books. I almost never do it. Once I've started investing my time in something, most of the time I follow through with it. Even though, oh, I don't know. It wasn't very long. I think that might be why I stuck with it, because it was just over 300 pages, I want to say. Like right at 300 pages. But basically this is about a girl who is a stylist, and she gets called to London to style the Duchess, and she brings her mom with her, and her mom meets the Queen's press secretary or something in that vein, and they kind of have a romance, and you know, it's that story. It was very subpar to me. I did not love this. Gave it 2 stars. A lot of 2-star Christmas reads this month. The next thing I purchased for my December TBR was The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I absolutely loved this. This was a 5-star read for me. I saw a bunch of people read this in December who did not like it as much as I did, but let me tell you, I enjoyed the premise of the story. I enjoyed the story all the way through and kind of figuring out what was going to happen. And I would say throughout it was a 3.5 to a 4-star read for me. And then at the very end, something happened that I did not like, and I was like, it's going to be a 4-star read because I liked the rest of the book quite a bit, but I wish this thing would have happened. And then there's like kind of like a, I don't know if it's a, it might be an epilogue, I'm not sure, but there's a place at the end of this where she talks about why she made the choice that she made kind of as an author to do, it's hard to explain if you haven't read it, because the character talks about, I know what you probably wanted to see happen was this thing here, and I know what happened was this thing here, but sometimes that's the way it is. And I don't know, for some reason that tied the bow on it that I needed. It kind of satiated what I wanted from this. And so I gave it 5 stars. I feel like I will read this again next Christmas. It was cute and light and fluffy with just enough weight that I didn't float away into nothingness. It had enough substance to keep me kind of grounded, and I really liked this. So yeah, 5-star read for me. The next book that I purchased is Christmas Stories by Charles Dickens. And this is a classic okay, it's all falling apart now. This is a classic collection for Yuletide is what they have it labeled as, and this is a bunch of Charles Dickens Christmas stories, including A Christmas Carol, which I was planning on reading around the time that I read The Afterlife of Holly Chase so that I could have the original story in mind when I read the retelling. I didn't end up getting to any of these stories, but this was really pretty sitting on my display for Christmas, and I'm hoping to get to it in the near future and maybe even make a Christmas tradition in the coming years with my family of reading a Charles Dickens Christmas story around Christmas time. The next book that I purchased was Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. I started reading this, as you can see I'm a little less than halfway in, and then I found out it was going to be the January read for Buddy Reads Latte, so I decided to kind of put this one on hold and pursue some other things that I was wanting to read in the month of December. This one was okay to me so far. It is about a boy who goes missing from this boys camp for like reforming troubled teens. He goes missing from it in the woods and is found by this witch, and it's kind of their story ensuing from there. I don't know a ton more about that, even though I'm halfway in, if that tells you anything. It's not my favorite so far, but I'm hoping that it gets better in the next 150 pages or so that I have left of it. The next book that I purchased was 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. I also read this one around Christmas time this year, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars, I believe, 4.5 out of 5, something like that. It was really, really good. The 10 Blind Dates were okay. The actual romance I really liked. I thought they were so cute together, but my favorite thing about this is the family dynamic. It was a huge family with aunts and uncles and cousins and sisters and moms and dads and everything just surrounding this girl and supporting her as she goes through this breakup by setting her up on 10 blind dates in order to help her get over the love she has lost. And the family dynamic in this was mwah, like just chef's kiss. I loved it so much. And so if you haven't read this, I would totally suggest suggest putting it on your TBR. If you're a seasonal reader like me, read it next Christmas. This was so, so good. That was everything that I purchased for my December TBR. So we're down to our last couple of books. My last two books that I received are, I received You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. This I received from my in-laws. I don't usually read a lot of like self-help or nonfiction in general, let's be real, but I'm trying to read more of it, and so I'm thinking I will try this at some point this year. This is How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. I feel like I already know I'm pretty great and my life is pretty good so far, but why not see if this makes it a little better? And then the last thing that I have here is Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This cover is so stunning. I cannot get over that artwork. It's amazing. So this is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I read Children of Blood and Bone in November. I literally could not wait to get to this one, but I had such a thick Christmas TBR, I wasn't able to fit it in last month. Hopefully I get around to this month. This series follows Zélie, and it is a story about a kingdom in which magic has been kind of taken away and it's been gone for 10 years. Which so far sounds like I'm describing Throne of Glass, but anyway, this is kind of the quest to bring magic back. The thing that I love about this so much is that I feel like it had such great social commentary on what we're going through with police brutality in our nation today, but it did it in a way that was accessible for someone who might not otherwise be able to identify with that experience. And for that reason, I have added this myself to my husband's TBR because I feel like it's something that he really needs to know and explore before we have Black boys of our own, because it is going to be difficult for him as a white male to be able to identify with what African-American men go through in this country, and to be able to raise a strong African-American male to be able to go out into our society. And hopefully by then things will be better, but we have been fighting this fight for a long time, so I'm not counting on it. So I love this for opening up that kind of door of conversation between my husband and I. And those are all of the books that I received for Christmas and around Christmas time. And so now we're gonna hop into the Christmas gifts. I'm going to start off with my stocking that I have here. How beautiful is that? So here is my stocking, and I'm going to go through the things that I received in here and then go through some of my other gifts. I'm not going to do them in any particular order or anything, just as I grab them. Before I go through, I guess I should put this disclaimer at the beginning of the video, but quick disclaimer that I understand how blessed and how fortunate I am to have people in my life that love me and that will get me gifts, that have the means to get me gifts. I have not always had people in my life to do that for me. I've not always had people in my life who have the means. I've been very fortunate my whole life to be loved very well, but I have not always been able to be loved in this way. And so I'm not trying to brag or to show off or anything. I'm simply sharing with you what I received for Christmas. I just want this to be an enjoyable experience for me showing it, for you watching it, and if it isn't, please feel free to click off. So the first thing I received is this 3 tea set from Republic of Tea. It has cinnamon, vanilla, comfort and joy, and peppermint bark teas in it, and you guys know how much I love tea. I believe these are sachets, not loose leaf. Yeah, it's tea bags. So that I received that, which my in-laws hit the nail on the head. I love tea. The next thing I received is this Ghirardelli hot cocoa mix. I think we all got that in our stockings. I received this Trader Joe's citrus body scrub with pink Himalayan salt. I'm excited to try that. Next, I received this dark chocolate sea salt bark from Target, I believe. I received this cute little 100-page notepad. I don't know where all of these things are from, but if I do know, I will say. I received this jumbo highlighter bronzer palette from Crystal Clear, and I think this might have come from Sephora. I'm not 100% sure, but this was from my in-laws as well. I think everything in my stocking was probably from my in-laws because that's where I opened my stocking this year. I also got this green tea scrub from Trader Joe's. Again, super excited to try. I really like Trader Joe's stuff. I received this purse flashlight, which I don't want to shine in your eyes or anything, but I love this for just something to add to my purse to have when I need it. You never know when you'll need a flashlight. I received a pair of earrings that looks like this. I think the other one fell off in my stocking, but I received these earrings. I also received, I have all kinds of earrings falling places. I also received these earrings, which this one is kind of bent back, but I don't know if you can see. I received a box of my favorite champagne gummy bears. I love these so much, so I tend to get them in my stocking every year because I really like these champagne gummy bears. I don't know if you can see that. These are by Sugarfina and they are delicious if you have not tried them. So good. I got this Kiehl's Rich Lavender Hydrating Hand Cream. I got this S for Shea keychain in gold glitter because gold glitter is like one of my favorite colors. I received this pretzel. It's pretzel toffee sea salt chocolate. And actually LT got one of these in his stocking too, and we already broke into that one, and this stuff is amazing. I got a cute little composition book. I love this, like things like this. It's just blank lined paper. I love things like this for my purse. I got this Evolution of Smooth lip balm set. I got all kinds of jewelry in my stocking, like these mermaid earrings. We're at the very bottom. More earrings and like a necklace and a little lip paint in this really pretty sparkly color. And that was everything in my stocking. Okay, let's keep on trekking right along. Let's move into some of my other Christmas presents. I am just gonna say things as I grab them, and again try to go quickly so you guys aren't here all day if you're still watching. So I got this really cool pinwheel. So it is a wheel of writing pins. They're these gel, what kind of pin is this? This is a Bic Gelocity pin, and I use these a lot for writing like to-do lists and notes and things like that. Things that I want to color code because obviously there are a bunch of colors here. I use them to write in my journal at night. This isn't something that I would use to like do art in my bullet journal or anything like that, but they're nice for a quick pin to grab when I'm looking for a certain color for something. So I got this cool little pinwheel. Every year my mother-in-law is like, tell me when you stop liking pins and I'll stop buying them. And I'm like, I will never stop liking pins. Anyway, I got this Corkcicle canteen along with the canteen lid and straws. I love water bottles that keep your stuff cold. Water bottles are something that I'm kind of obsessed with. My mom is always like, you do not need any more water bottles. Why do you keep buying them? Why do people keep getting them for you? But I really love them, so I got another one for Christmas. I got some Malibu Blend coffee along with this cute little ornament for the Christmas tree. I got some thank you cards with my first initial on them, along with these holographic pencils. So they say things at the bottom like good vibes only, love yourself, and they're just little graphite pencils. We got, LT and I both got a couple of gift cards, some Target and just MasterCard gift cards. I got this ice stick maker for my Corkcicle so I can put icicles. So I can put ice inside of the bottle because you know how the mouth is really thin, so this makes like long pieces of ice like this that will slide into my bottle. I have more than one Corkcicle bottle, so this will be really useful. I am a huge Nintendo fan nerd, especially old school Nintendo. I played it all the time when I was a kid, and when I was a kid the remotes we had looked like this. So I got these two old school Nintendo classic remotes to use with my Nintendo Switch. Also, I did not have two remotes for my Nintendo Switch, so if I wanted to play two-player with somebody, we had to kind of switch off, or one of us use the one side of the remote and the other one use the other. If you have a Switch, you know what I mean. Anyway, so now I have two controllers that I can use. I'm especially excited to play Mario with these because that's exactly what I did when I was a kid. I got some cinnamon flavored coffee. I got some cream take off the day makeup wipes, which I'm really excited to have these. They are oil and dirt proof makeup wipes, and they are perfect to put in my gym bag because I'm always looking for a makeup wipe at the gym, and I'm excited to have some to add to that bag. I received this really soft, really pretty scarf, and it's so soft, like, oh my goodness. So I got that. I received this kind of mercury glass style candle that I'm gonna add to my bookshelf. The name of it is Sweet Grace, like that's the scent. It smells like a boutique, like when you walk into like a nice boutique. I'm trying to see if it says, but it doesn't say anywhere with the notes on this are. But what I really like about this is that every time one of these candles are purchased, they give a meal to a hungry child. And so my sister-in-law got this for me, but at the same time, she fed a hungry kid, and I love that. So if you know me in person, you know I am obsessed with unicorns. My family definitely knows I'm obsessed with unicorns. And so they got me this unicorn snot, which I was really excited about. This is a SPF 30 biodegradable glitter sunscreen. And so I use sunscreen every day. I always love a little bit of glitter, and I love myself a good unicorn. So this is unicorn snot, which I thought was super, super cute. I also got a Starbucks gift card because who can ever have enough of these? Not me. For sure not me. So during Black Friday, I thought about purchasing this for myself. I decided to save the money, and LT went back and got it for me and surprised me. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's their palette vault, and it has Modern Renaissance and Soft Glam in it, which are two really popular Anastasia palettes. And it comes in this beautiful, like, glitter box, and then it has the two little things that slide out, and then the palette's inside. And I am so excited to have this because it was on my list. I was gonna purchase it for myself and didn't, but my husband had my back and he got this for me for Christmas. LT also got me the Ember mug. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but I have wanted one of these for so long, and I'm so glad I got it. But basically it is a mug that has an app that connects to your phone, and it keeps your coffee at your perfect temperature all morning long. So it lasts for probably about 2 hours. I have used this every day since I got it. It is so good. I would highly suggest it if you like your coffee at a certain temperature and you want to stay there all morning. This is perfect for that. It has a little charging coaster that it sits on, and yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Christmas gifts is the Ember mug. So our last few items here. So I received this purse from Anthropologie, I believe. This is what it looks like. So my mother-in-law got that for me. And then we got this picture frame, which I love so much. So this is London on the outside of this. So you can see an underground sign and the London Eye up here. And the reason why they got us this is because we went to the UK on our honeymoon and we don't have any printed pictures of that. And so they got us this frame to put a honeymoon picture in, and I just thought it was absolutely adorable. They also got us this really pretty marble picture frame with a picture in it from our family vacation last year. So we went to Florida for family vacation in May, I believe. And this photo is from that. I know you can't really see it because of the glare, but if I have the actual photo, which I'm not sure if I do, I'll insert the actual picture so you guys can see it. But it's LT's family, his mom and dad, his sister and her husband, and their 2 kids, and then me. So they got us this picture in this frame. And then because of how much we've moved around and everything since we got married, I didn't have any printed photos of our wedding either. And so they also got us this printed photo from our wedding of his side of the family all together with us. So again, his mom and dad, his sister, her husband, and their 2 kids. And I will insert that picture as well. I do have this one, so I'll insert it for you to see because all you can see is ring light in this, but just in a simple white frame. That was probably my favorite gift that they got us. And then our big gift, LT and I's like big gift that we opened together from his family was this. I don't know how I'm gonna hold this for you to see, but oh no, was this Instant Pot air fryer. I don't know if you can see that, but it is an air fryer, like I said, by the company Instant Pot, and we have opened that. This is just the box. We've opened it, we have used it, we love it. It has been so great for making things a little more healthily, but still having that crunch and kind of fried food idea about them, essence about them. And we really love the air fryer and this brand of it and everything. It was just, it's one of the favorite gifts that we got. And then the last thing that I have here is actually the last book that I received on the 25 Days of Christmas, but I recorded receiving it, but I never ended up posting the last couple of vlogs. I just got behind and just couldn't catch up. LT got me This box set that has been on my wish list for so long. This is the UK edition children's hardcovers of the Harry Potter series. And I don't know if you guys know, but it's our goal to have an entire Harry Potter shelf at one point with a collection of memorabilia and of the books. And this was a book set that was on my list. It's super heavy. It was a book set that was on my list. So I was really excited that he got it for me. And so now this third shelf right here, it's empty right now because this is what sits on it. I have this book set along with some Gilly Water and some Bertie Bott's Every Flavor beans and some like a chocolate frog and things like that that sit along with this up there. So I got this, and then on the top shelf there, the dust jackets from the Nerdy Post also in December. And so our Harry Potter kind of shelf is filling out, and I'm really excited about that. So that is everything except for there's one more thing, I guess. The last thing I'll insert a picture of here because I don't have it to bring down to you, but LT also got me a big jewelry box type thing that hangs on the back of the door, and it's a mirror, and then you open it and it's a jewelry box with a light and things like that, and I really, really love it. That is everything that I got for Christmas this year, along with my first and only book haul that I've done this year and all of the books that I received in the month of December. This video is probably 10 years long, so if you are still here, thank you so, so much for watching. I also wanted to say that the giveaway winners for the 200, 300, and 400 subscriber giveaways have been announced and contacted. So if you have not already, check your, I replied to your comment if you won, and I gave you information on how to contact me in order to claim your prize. Let me know if you want a wish list item or a t-shirt or whatever the case may be. So make sure that you check and see if I replied to your comment, because I have not heard back from everybody yet, but I want to make sure that you guys claim your prize. And there will be some more giveaways. We have a 500, 600, and 700 giveaway coming up soon, so keep your eyes peeled because it will be hidden just like this, kind of as a little gem at the end of a video or in the middle of a video or something like that, just for the people that are really watching my videos, because that's who I want to give back to and really show my appreciation for. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for waiting patiently while I was gone, and I cannot wait to get back into the swing of things. This is the last little video that you will see in my Christmas setup. I wanted to make sure for my what I got for Christmas video, I was in my Christmas setup, but we're gonna take down our Christmas decorations. It's at the end of the 12 days of Christmas, and so I'm excited to get back into kind of some normal content for you guys. And yeah, I missed you so much, and I'm so glad to be back. So I will talk to you guys in my next one. I will see you soon. I love you so, so much. Bye.